Throughout history, unforgettable insights have often seemed to burst forth from realms beyond ordinary thought. We will navigate these mysterious territories, examine the stories of figures like Giuseppe Tartini, Friedrich August Kekulé, and many others who found that their dreams and the working of their unconscious minds provided the spark for artistic and scientific revolutions. This work aims to capture the essence of our exchange and explore how the interplay between conscious effort and deep, often hidden, layers of the psyche has inspired some of the most transformative moments in human creativity. Giuseppe Tartini's legend stands as one of the most evocative examples of unconscious inspiration. Tartini, a master violinist of the Baroque era, became enshrined in musical lore with the Tale of the Devil's Trill Sonata. According to the narrative, one fateful night, burdened by despair and professional struggles, Tartini found respite in sleep, only to be visited by a vision of the devil. In this surreal encounter, the devil purportedly played the violin with an otherworldly flair, a performance that was so transcendent that Tartini immediately felt compelled to capture it upon awakening. This account has been interpreted in two ways. Some view it as a carefully cultivated myth, a dramatic embellishment intended to elevate Tartini's genius. Others see it as a symbolic confrontation with his own unconscious, a vivid dramatization of the inner struggle between creative aspiration and the darker, more chaotic forces residing within. From this perspective, the devil represents the untamed, darker facets of the mind, those brilliant, chaotic forces that lie beneath our surface and often fuel our greatest artistic achievements. Tartini's experience, then, can be understood as his psyche manifesting its hidden potential, where the demon is not a literal entity but a representation of internal creative energies and the struggle between conscious control and the raw power of the imagination. In essence, the story may serve as an allegory for the inner battle every creative mind faces, the tension between order and chaos, the familiar and the unknown. It suggests that what we often label as evil or otherworldly might simply be a confrontation with parts of ourselves that are capable of producing sublime beauty when transformed through arts. This dual reading, the tale as both an unfounded legend and a profound engagement with the unconscious, continues to captivate because it mirrors the internal dilemmas with mysteries that accompany artistic creation. It speaks to the heart of the creative process, inviting us to consider that maybe our most transcendent works emerge from grappling with the hidden, sometimes shadowy dimensions of our own minds. Friedrich August Kekulé, the chemist renowned for his formulation of the benzene ring, famously relayed a dream that fundamentally altered the trajectory of organic chemistry. In his narrative, where he saw a snake seizing its own tail, a powerful image that led him to visualize benzene not as a linear chain but as a closed, cyclic structure. Kekulé's dream underscores how the mind, operating without the usual constraints of rationality, can recombine familiar elements in novel ways. Kekulé's experience is often cited alongside Tartini as evidence that the unconscious mind has the capacity to generate novel ideas by reassembling fragments of accumulated knowledge and sensory experience. His insight into benzene structure wasn't the result of deliberate step-by-step logic, but the serendipitous convergence of disparate ideas, demonstrating that inspiration can indeed arise from the seemingly mysterious realms of our inner world. Srinivasa Ramanujan, this Indian mathematical genius, often described his work as being divinely inspired by dreams. He recounted that many of his formulations arrived not through formal education or methodical study, but via vivid, inexplicable dreams, hinting at a universal source of mathematical truths. Salvador Dalí, a pioneer surrealist, Dalí embraced the chaotic imagery produced by his subconscious mind. Employing his paranoid critical method, Dalí transformed dreamlike visions into art that defied conventional logic, capturing the essence of surrealism in works like The Persistence of Memory. Mary Shelley, the author of Frankenstein, famously found her muse in a terrifying vision during a time of isolation in a gloomy summer. A vivid dream involving the reanimation of life catalyzed one of the most iconic narratives in literature. blurring the lines between horror and profound questions of creation. Henri Poincaré, the mathematician and thinker, described moments of sudden insight where solutions to complex problems emerged after periods of detached contemplation, a phenomenon that suggests that the subconscious mind continues to work innovatively, reassembling concepts even when conscious mind rests. Elias Howe, the inventor of the modern sewing machine needle, reportedly had a dream that transformed an abstract challenge into a concrete solution. He dreamt of cannibals wielding weapons that strangely resembled a needle with an eye near its point. This peculiar image provided the missing link for his design, ultimately leading to a breakthrough that revolutionized tailoring and manufacturing. Thomas Edison. Famed for his relentless experimentation, Thomas Edison was known to harness the borderland between wakefulness and sleep to fuel creative thought. He developed a habit of napping with a small ball in his hand that would wake him before slipping into a deep sleep. In these fleeting moments, where dream images melded with the conscious ideas, Edison captured sparks of insight that contributed to many of his inventions. Although his approach wasn't marked by one dramatic dream, it demonstrates how the blurred boundary between sleep and waking thought can be a creative goldmine. Albert Einstein. While not tied to a single dramatic dream story, Einstein's imaginative process was steeped in a dreamlike quality. His renowned thought experiment, envisioning riding alongside a beam of light and contemplating the warping of space and time, suggests that a mental state where the boundaries of logic can blur much like in dreams. This mode of thinking allowed him to break free from conventional ideas and revolutionize physics, reminding us that profound insights can only come from a deliberate immersion in imaginative reverie. Each of these accounts, whether steeped in literal dreams or in a state that border on the dreamlike, illustrates how the unconscious mind can bridge gaps in our understanding and lead to transformative ideas. They invite us to consider that creative inspiration is not always the product of deliberate, linear thought, but often arises from mysterious interplay between conscious effort and subconscious imagery. The idea of the collective unconscious, popularized by Carl Jung, further proposes that beyond our personal experience, there exists a universal reservoir of archetypal images and symbols shared across humanity. These archetypes have a profound influence on how certain images, like the snake biting its tail, or other symbolic motives, resonate deeply with us. In these dream states, or moments between sleep and wakefulness, the usual filters of rationality relax, allowing memory fragments and sensory impressions to combine in new, unorthodox ways. This process is supported by contemporary research into the brain's default mode network, a system activated during introspection and daydreaming. By operating outside the strict confines of logical sequencing, our brains can forge connections between concepts that would otherwise remain isolated, leading to what appears to as an aha moment of clarity. The interaction of the personal unconscious with the collective unconscious thus paints a picture in which creativity emerges not solely from the deliberate internal effort, but from a mysterious conversation between hidden facets of cognition. The stories we've discussed illustrate that the boundaries between myth and personal experience is remarkably fluid. Each anecdote invites us to reconsider traditional notions of genius, suggesting instead that our most profound insights are the outcomes of an intricate interplay between our conscious control and the deep, often inaccessible layers of our inner psyche. As we increasingly understand the mechanisms that underlie creative thinking, insights from neuroscience lend scientific support to these age-old narratives. The activation of networks that support associative thinking, coupled with the loosening of inhibitory controls during certain stages of sleep or deep reflection, provides a plausible explanation for how and why such breakthrough ideas occur. Rather than viewing these phenomena as mere flights of fancy or simple coincidences, modern research positions them as intrinsic operation of the human mind, a synthesis between learned information, emotional experiences, and timeless archetypes. This convergence of myth and neuroscience encourages us to view dreams not just as ephemeral nighttime narratives, but as windows into the hidden workings of our creativity. By embracing these moments and recognizing the value of what the unconscious has to offer, We not only gain insight into the creative process, but also potentially unlock untapped reservoirs of innovation within ourselves. In conclusion, our exploration has revealed that the line between myth and psychological reality is not as clear-cut as it might seem. The tales of Tartini, Kekulé, Ramanujan, Dalí, and others collectively illustrate that what we often consider as inspiration may be the result of a profound internal dialogue between the conscious mind and the hidden recesses of our unconscious. These stories serve to remind us that creative genius is not simply born out of deliberate contemplation or rigorous logic, but often from the serendipitous interplay of dreams, instincts, and archetypal imagery stored deep within our minds. Ultimately, these experiences underscore a timeless truth. The creative process is as much an exploration of our inner landscapes as it is of the external world. As our understanding of the brain and the unconscious continues to expand, so too does the potential for us as individuals to harness this incredible synergy, transforming dreams into the concrete realities of arts, science, and innovation. Now, let's explore some practical steps in order to integrate this knowledge into our everyday life. Dreams are one of the clearest windows into the unconscious. Recording them regularly trains the brain to attend to these ideas, making it easier to revisit and process them later. Keep a notebook or digital voice recorder next to your bed. Immediately upon waking, jot down any fragments of your dreams, feelings, and random thoughts. Meditation reduces mental clutter, making moments of insight more accessible by quieting the inner critic and allowing subconscious ideas to surface. Spend 10 to 20 minutes each day in quiet meditation. Focus on your breath and allow thoughts to pass without judgment. If a specific image or phrase emerges, note it mentally or jot it down after your session. Schedule deliberate breaks, known as incubation periods. These moments let your subconscious stew on problems, allowing unexpected associations to form. Insert short, distraction-free intervals into your day. Use these periods for wandering thoughts rather than structured work. Embrace autonomy in creative tasks. Shifting your focus can spark unanticipated ideas, breaking the mental fixation that sometimes stifles creative thought. When you face a challenging problem, be it in art, science, or daily tasks, step away from the problem intentionally. Engage in an unrelated activity that you find enjoyable. For example, a walk, doodling, or a light exercise session. Free writing and automatic drawing. This free association method bypasses the internal filter, revealing subconscious links that might otherwise stay hidden. Set aside time for unstructured writing sessions. Write continuously for 10 to 15 minutes about whatever comes to mind, without self-editing. Alternatively, try sketching or mapping out ideas visually. Reflect on themes and symbols. Recognizing patterns not only deepens self-awareness, but can inspire you to approach problems on creative projects from new angles. Periodically review your collected notes and drawings, looking for recurring symbols, emotions, or ideas. Ask yourself, what archetypal imagery appears? How do these symbols connect to your personal experiences or current challenges? Integrating these practices into daily routines creates a sustained dialogue with the unconscious, gradually turning fleeting insights into substantive ideas. Systematically capturing your dreams and free thoughts not only preserves them, but also transforms them into a personal archive of inspiration. Whether refining a project or solving a persistent problem, combining deliberate reflection with spontaneous insight can lead to breakthroughs in seemingly stagnant areas. By viewing your unconscious as a creative partner instead of a mysterious, unreachable realm, you can unlock innovative ideas and forge deeper connections with your inner self. Start small, be consistent, and allow the interplay between conscious thought and unconscious inspiration to seamlessly inform your work and life.